Hi, this is Molly from Project Search at Westchester Hospital. Today we're going to talk about interrupting. What does interrupting mean? When someone is doing something like talking, working, or watching something and someone else stops them from doing it, it is called interrupting. Let's look at each scene below. What are the people doing in each scene? Circle the person that is doing the interrupting. In the first scene, the young man in the wheelchair is interrupting the two people talking by saying, Bob, 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 Bob. In the second scene, the young man on the left is interrupting the person watching TV. He is asking, do you like my new shoes? In the third scene, a young man is talking to his mom on his cell phone. The person on the right, who appears to have a visual impairment and using a cane, is interrupting the person on the cell phone by clanking it against his walker. If someone you want to talk to is busy, then it is important that you wait to talk to that person. It's rude to interrupt. Sometimes we have something very important to say and it can't wait, especially if it's an emergency. Can you name some emergencies that could happen where you would need to interrupt someone immediately? An example I can think of is if I knocked over a candle in my house, I would need help cleaning it up quickly. Go ahead, pause the video, and write 4 times you would need help immediately. The polite way to interrupt is to say, "Excuse me," then wait for that person to address you. They might say, "Yes, how can I help you?" or "What do you need?" Only then is it your turn to talk. Remember, if it's not an emergency or very important, you need to wait for that person to finish what they are doing before you start talking. Let's look at the examples of interrupting below. Pretend your mom is talking to the neighbor about something very important. Put a check mark in the example where it would be okay to interrupt her. Let's read these together first. The dog got out. You want to go to the movies. Your sister's mouth is bleeding. You got an A on your class paper. Your dad called and wants to talk to her. The smoke alarm is going off. You need a new battery for your iPad. The toilet is overflowing. Remember, put a check mark in the example where it would be okay for you to interrupt her. The first one, the dog got out. Well, that depends if the dog is runs away easily. If it's a fenced-in yard, that would not be an emergency. But if it got out the front door and started running, that's an emergency. You want to go to the movies. That can wait. It's not an emergency. Your sister's mouth is bleeding. That could be an emergency. You got an A on the class paper. Although that's very exciting, that's not a reason to interrupt your mother. Your dad called and wants to talk to her. That is a time to politely interrupt your mom and let her know your dad is on the phone. The smoke alarm is going off. That's very important. We need to let your mom know, and it's okay to interrupt. You need a new battery for your iPad. Yes, I know you can't replace a battery for an iPad, but we also wouldn't interrupt our mother talking to someone just to get a new battery for anything. The toilet is overflowing. Yep, that's an emergency. Nobody wants that water everywhere in the house. If you have time or someone to do it with you, use each of these examples above and practice with someone at your house the proper and polite way to interrupt someone. Thanks, and I'll talk to you soon.